All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about a leak from Al Haymon. Can't believe that took place, and that he and PBC still want the Errol Spence Jr. fight with Terence Crawford, and they reveal a very big concession that they gave to Terence Crawford, and he still didn't take the fight. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about some new news coming out from sources close to Al Haymon about the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford fight. And let me tell you this. That's the first time I've ever heard that statement, that this is from a source close to Al Haymon. Now, this is in a boxing article written by Al Dawson. You can get that. Go check out his Twitter page. I think it's on Inside Boxing. And he talks also about a very strange request that was made by Terence Crawford and given to Terence Crawford. But despite that, Terence Crawford still did not make the fight. Before I let you know what that is, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. It really, really does mean a lot. Definitely want to give a big shout out to my man, Freddie Jimenez, who's always coming by the chat, been one of the biggest supporters for a long time. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for your support in the super chats and the cash apps that you do over there on that in the live streams. Also, thank you to people that support through the super thanks for the videos like this, which you can see below, because that is definitely how we are able to fund the channel and allowed to continue to do content. So let's go with this, man, because when I read this news article, excellent news article written by Al Dawson. Again, I think it's theinsider.com is where you can find the article at. And it broke down the negotiations between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford in a very, very straightforward fashion. Nothing insulting about it, nothing leaning heavily on one side or another side, just a very, very clean, crisp breakdown of what was going on, and lists a number of sources that he has related with the PBC. Now, what sources do I know that the man that wrote this article have? Well, I know for sure that one person that he has a relationship with is the head of Mayweather Promotions, and that is Leonard Ellerbe. Now, I'm not going to tell you that source with this that gives him this information is Leonard Ellerbe. I do not know that. I just happen to know that that is someone that this particular journalist is familiar with because I've seen them exchange with one another on Twitter, right? But I'm not going to jump the gun and say that the person that is saying this is Leonard Ellerbe. However, there were Al Dawson quoted sources close to Al Haymon. I don't know anybody that is going to be closer than him, but maybe there is somebody else. Do not know. However, had to be just let you know that going in that could be, but anyway, that is the scenario. That is the information that he gave. I mean, that is the multiple sources. Exactly what he said is multiple sources out of the PBC. So what was it that he says in this article? First, he says that Al Haymon still wants to make the bout. They still want to do the business with Terence Crawford. Errol Spence Jr. wants to fight with Terence Crawford. Al Haymon still wants to do the business with Terence Crawford. And but the only concern is whether or not Terence Crawford actually wants to make the deal with them. Now, there's something that was requested, that a detail that came out, that Terence Crawford had requested approval over all marketing related expenses for the fight. And he was given this. Now, also, in the note that came out, or the tweet that came out from Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. quoting some information or some type of communication from Terence Crawford's team. I don't believe it was the actual contract because of the wording. However, he said that they wanted to have the chance to sign off on all agreements, and the choice of the direction would be with TCB, Terence or TBC, Terence Bud Crawford, and I have to think that is Terence Bud Crawford Promotions. So as far as what they talked about with transparency and wanting transparency into the books, that is one thing, right? However, what Bud was asking for and received was control over all of the expenses and all of the revenue related to the fight. Not just transparency, but control. He wanted the ability to sign off on all agreements related to the event. He also wanted all revenue related to the fight to be put into a bank account, and a mutually agreed upon bank account, and the money that is deposited into that bank account cannot be paid out without Terence Crawford's approval. Which means when they took money from the gate, they take money as is collected in the pay-per-view from pay-per-views or whatever other source that they have. They deposit it into a bank account. And if Terence Crawford is not feel 100% satisfied with any dime that's being paid, they cannot do it. And money, if there are certain requirements that where Al Haymon or any other party related to that has to pay them, they're going to have to pay that out of their pocket until, if they want to cover the expense, they're going to have to pay that out of their own bank accounts, because the money from that fight will be frozen unless Terence Crawford says so. So the way that I read that, the way that I think about that is my opinion, is that Terence Crawford asked for a lot in that negotiation that goes well beyond transparency. He was asking for basically total control of the event. When I mean total control, probably not total control. He wants final say-so over anything that's done related to that event, because anything that you do is going to cost money, pretty much. Maybe the only thing that he doesn't have approval. He also wanted, when you say agreements, the ability to sign an agreement, that also is not just related to money. That is also selection of the vendors. So you could have an agreement where the money is perfectly fine, but Bud doesn't like who you're doing business with and wants you to do business with somebody else. That is an issue of control, not an issue of transparency primarily. So when they say, yeah, we still want to do the business, but after we gave all this to Terence and he didn't take it, we wonder, and no matter I'm not sure what else we can give him in order to make him make that fight. But at least there's still some hope of that. Terence Crawford still says he wants to revisit it after he fights David Avancian and Errol Spence Jr. fights whoever else. So we'll see it. But if it doesn't happen, man, I hope they move on to Boots and Virgil Ortiz so we can get some other names in the mix in this welterweight division and see great fights. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.